Now the problem is, though, Michelle, did you want me out those orchid nails line so bad that you knew you had to have sex with me, right? To get rid of me, right? I'm not dumb, but you're acting like I am. And see, it's you not believing the stories, right? They told you, right, I would be interested in you. They told you it would take me being with the virgin to get me in trouble, right? They told you, right, you would have to lie to me too, and they told you there might not be nothing they could do about it, right? If you take matters into your own hands, right? You made it about you. And even if I don't remember you, I remember the other women, right? You're not going to be any tighter for being a virgin. You're not going to be any looser. Once it's popped, it takes a second, right, to go inside, and then it's over, right? Right. It's just a little tightness, right? And then it's in, and then it's in, right? Not that, you know, I minded or didn't mind during the event, right? I know either you went off with me or we did it in the store. There ain't no else we can do it. I know the camera's right there, so you're not going to want your dad to see it, right? But if we go into the bathroom, which is the only other place we can go into, right? I can still sit on the toilet and you can still ride me, right? Or we could do it with you sitting on the seat, right? And again, there's other ways to do it, right? And I'm not as thick as you think I am, right? But that's fine, right? Your problem is you, right? Made it about you, right? You also knew if you didn't do it, I could come in once a month for the rest of my life, right? But if you did do it, there's a chance you can ban me from the store, right? And you did what you wanted to do, right? You can't blame me for that, right? I'm just a customer for any store I go into. Now, if Frederica or Tina at the next door restaurant had sex with me too, it can be just as quick or just as slow depending on what I do, right? I can have sex with you in 5 minutes or less, right? Even with every woman in the store or none of them, right? But you gotta let it happen, right? And if I lose an hour around you, right, I know it's you, right? So no matter what you try to sugarcoat it as, right? You're sugarcoating it, honey. You're trying to blame your dad, right? And he told you the same thing too. If you act like an adult, expect to be treated like an adult. You're the one being too big for your britches, right? And can't stand the heat. If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, right? Like we say, right? But you will be no more looser or tighter than Maribel, right? You're just a Vietnamese girl, right? And it goes in whether you're wet down there or not, right? And I would make sure you were wet, right? And ready for it. So it just slides in. Maybe a little bit of friction for a second, right? But then it's in. What do you think? I'm going to forget that. Even if me and Maribel had sex a few times with her being dry, it's kind of the same experience, right? We probably did, right? But you're warm too, right? That's dumb or that's smart. And once you do it, you can't undo it, right? Even if I don't remember all the details, to protect you, right, from getting in trouble. See, I wouldn't find out you lied about being 37 until after the event, right? Whatever we did, right? All I can do is guess if I'm trying to protect you or Maria or whoever, right? But I do know, and I don't know, right? But if we did, maybe she didn't yet get pregnant. But it depends on when you do it. If you're off by a second, right, you might get pregnant, right? That time. But when you tipped it the most, right, that's when you get pregnant. When you don't tip it at all, you don't have to worry about it, right? But see, I don't know your cycle. Usually, all right, it could be in the middle of the month, right? But if I come in on the 7th, right, of November, 2019, right, if you had your period before the month began, right, say 2 to 3 days, right, all it takes is you to ovulate within a 3-day period, right, and one sperm to make it to your egg, right, and then 9 months later you have a baby, or not. But if I lost an hour, you're trying to make sure that I get in trouble with you. If we don't do it, there's no reason to ban me. If we do it, you or your dad can ban me from the store and act like I did something wrong. But then I'm going to know, right? What did I do wrong? I didn't have no problem with any of the other salons. If me and the women did have sex, I don't say I did with them either, right? Even if we did or didn't, right? I wouldn't have minded, right? I would also give them a massage too, right? From behind, right? Or front, right? I do a whole body massage anyway, right? I would do your legs, I would do your, right? Even while licking you, right? Or not, right? It's up to you, right? See, I'm just telling you what I know I would do, right? Or not do, right? Now, if we really do it, right? Then you can get pregnant, right? Well, either you're killing me the whole hour, or we're having sex, too, right? See, if you try to kill me like the person who did the wrecker of the fall, right? And it wasn't a real wrecker fall that damaged me, right? But a little bit, right? In the hands or shaving the eyebrow off or whatever it did, right? Even that can be staged to a point, right? And maybe a few pieces of glass in my face, but still, right? Right. It's gonna look like the windshield collapsed on my hand, right? But did it really, right? How do you know what it would look like? Right? You don't, right? Nor do I, Nor does the doctor, right? If the ambulance driver gets there, they see the glass and all that, right? Their job is to get it out and suture the wounds, right? Also, remember when they removed the little bit of stitches in the hand, too, right? I don't quite remember my last CT scan, but I know it was scheduled for 2 weeks after I left. Right. But some of it is natural memory loss, right? Right. And some of it ain't, right? Right. But I do remember doing CTs after that, too. Now they can also get in a new one or use the oldest considered there, right? I know, but by 86, they at least had CT scans, and then they got MRIs now. And you can see bone is missing from the sacrum, which only a weapon can pulverize bone, right? Still, I know, right? And whatever information they gave you or didn't give you is their fault and yours for listening to them, right? When you do something wrong, right, yourself, right, you're being told enough information to make you think, well, if I don't do it, if I do it, right, I don't think you can get me pregnant anyway. You're weighing the odds, right? Not me, not you. I don't even know you. It's just coincidental, right? Until I went into the store too, right? But if she did, why don't I remember? And then again, right? Did Tina do it too, right? Because I get vibes or not too from a woman, right? See, I know, right? You know, when I sat down, right, that there was something going on, right, between your legs, right? And you made up your mind, right, that day, right, to take care of it, and one way or the other, right? Now, if we went somewhere else, that's more complicated, right? But if we went into the bathroom, that's the least complicated place to go into, right? But still, why didn't the ban take place till January 12th, 2020, right? Did you think I forgot? Did they tell you I would tip you $8 for the $38 nail job, right? That's still a little bit more than 20%, but still not quite 23 or 25%, right? And then you took 3 and then I put 2 on the card, right? See, the card's your problem, right? If I use one at the restaurant, yeah. Even if I paid cash at the restaurant, it's gonna stamp when I left, right? And I know when I went in by memory, right? The plan was to get the nail job, then go see the movies, depending on which one I got to decided to see, right? Between Harriet or Dark Fate, right? Now, am I trying to prove it 100%? No one can prove anything 100%. But 50-50, yeah. And then you worry that I do remember, right? The pleasure, right? And what all we did, though I done told you, right? 2, I start with kissing. You said I usually kiss the neck, right? And I can start with your ears, your right, anything I want, right? That I think will make you feel good, right? Until we finish, right? Now, you can even tell me stop, like I said, right? And I'll stop at any time, right? That's the first thing you tell someone, right? Even if she's younger or older or whatever, right? If she says stop, you gotta stop, right? If you don't stop, you're consenting, right? Even if you're 15, you're working in the store as if you're old enough to do so, right? This is what the judge has to look at. You deceived me too. I'm mentally ill. I have a disability. I asked you up front how old you were, and you said 37, right? And see, if you lie, and you know I won't, I'm just telling you the truth in a different way. Pretending I don't remember or I do, right? And then you fear, right? That's why you also had confidence I couldn't come into the store, even in your black leotard pants. One of the times I saw you again, right? So, so the third time. And your kind of light shirt, right? It was either pink or white, who cares, right? About all the details. But then you're gonna worry I remember it and liked it and wanted it again, right? See, even at the restaurant, if I'm having sex with the girls in the bathroom or not, right? It's not gonna be right if I'm in there an hour, right? Or all at once, right? It's gonna be when I'm vulnerable, right? To both letting going in there with them, right, and coming out and sitting back down to finish the food, right? Plus, I'm gonna want to do it as fast as possible anyway. Even if I do oral or whatever, right? I can do it a minute, right, or less, right, 30 seconds, right, and I can do it more than once, right. Now, you know if you shot me, you know if you... And see, if I have a hole in my head, it don't matter what makes the hole, right? So, the x-ray is from 2017. That was before I met you, 2 years, right? If they're doing something between then and now, right? They're doing something. And if you get pregnant or not, any woman having sex with me, like Mary Bell, it won't be until maybe the last time that you find out you were pregnant 3 months later. Whether you stop or not, right? I don't know you're doing it to protect you. Not me, right? You're the one living with someone who could also be blacking me out, or you're blacking me out yourself, but you still don't know what I remember, right? And see, if I'm bigger, right, it's better to let you be on top every time, right? Unless you insist. And then I'm going to say, are you sure, right? I can do it either way, right? I don't mind being on top of you either, right? And the difference is my legs support my weight in my arms, right? When you make love, the horizontal position, right, is designed to be the best position, Michelle's. Whether one or two, right? See, even Michele at the Chinatown buffet, right? To be with me during the night or during the day, and I can't say nothing, right? Because I'm worried about her parents, right? But all it takes is a few minutes lost of time, right? Or I pretend to lose the time, right? Either way, if I'm in there fast or slow, right, it can be quick or slow, right? I can come within a minute, right? As long as it's in, right? It's in. It's in. If it's not in, it's not in, right? But like I said, I'm just teasing. Even with Desiree, even with my sisters, plural. I'm playing, even with my mother or anyone else, right? Or an aunt or an uncle, right? Again, right? I'm saying things to make it up, but also, right, to try and make sense out of it too, right? Even if I remember something or don't, right? And there's two spirits in the world. Positive one and a negative one. Who do you think the negative one is from? Satan. Who do you think the positive one is from? God and Jesus. See, Satan has other creatures like him, called the fallen angels or demons, right? Just like the elves in Tolkien's world, I know. There are good elves, and then there are the orcs, right? Who are former elves, right? That's why the swords glow blue, right? Whenever a goblin or an elf or an orc is around them, right? It's part of the weapon's design, right? Right? But without it, right? It's just a sword, like any other sword, right? But it's mythology, yes, right? But not everything is mythology, like Jesus, right? Why? Why? Because before Constantine, right, either Roman historians talked about him, or you're saying Constantine faked it, right? 3 centuries later, why? Right? If Christianity isn't a real religion by the 3rd century, right? 300 years after Christ, it wouldn't be an issue, right? It's an issue. It's an issue. But another thing Constantine may have did, you don't think about, is change the religion a little bit, right? To suit his beliefs too, right? If he does that enough, you're not practicing true Christianity anymore, and he's taken over the belief, right? And changed it to his religion, right? His version of Christianity. Which means you're no longer following the real Jesus, right? You're following Constantine's version of Jesus. With the blessing of the Orthodox versus the Gnostics, who call him androgynous, Adam too. If you're a hermaphrodite, you're not male or female, right? In form, right? You have the boobs at least of a woman. You might have a penis, but you don't know what's underneath, right? Until you're made male, right? And even then, he says she is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, right? She was taken out of him, right? Right. If you're in something 50-50 and he saw a change, right, in his own body, right? We can't change our body like Adam's, right? If he's the first human, right? In our image and likeness, right? Same with a chicken, right? If the chickens are hermaphrodite too, right? And kind of rooster in hen, right? It's going to have qualities of both, but still be neither, right? You can't call it a rooster or a hen, right? I don't know. It's kind of a little above 50-50, 50-50. Then when you divide the two animals, right, into rooster and hen, right, one to be the mother figure of God, and the other the father figure of God, right, or image, right. See, the spirit is neither chicken nor human, right? Nor is the chicken yet created until the father mother uses spirit and matter to make it, right? And then it does what, as with the human, it forms the chicken's body first. First, the bones of the chicken, right? Then the muscle and flesh, right? Underneath, right? All the organs, the liver, the gizzards, this, the that, right? And then, right, the meat. Now, right, is the meat considered, though, a bone? Or the final thing you make as you're about to make the chicken's flesh, right? Then you put feathers, right? And form the feathers for the chicken's body, right? Right. Right? But you make it both, right? Mm-hmm. Two, half male, half female. Mm-hmm. And then you make it from one into two, right? Two. anything that's male and female, except for earthworms and snails, right, have to be made to. And again, that's the maker's decision too, right? But if there are earthworm and snails as invertebrates, and even lizards, especially certain females, can have females, right? Who can have females, who can have females, and only females, right? And the seahorse, the male carries the offspring, not the female. That's showing you God can deviate things too, right? Not you, creature. Man. Shall the thing formed say of he that formed it, he has no hands, right? When you are its hands, it made you to be a human representation of it, right? But I forgive you too, Michelle's. Even if you black me out yourself, even if you tricked me, even if you shot me, even if you thought you could kill me like the other people did, right? And couldn't either, right? See, forgiveness, like I told you, is better than condemnation, because only one is of God, right? Not both, right? One is of good and one is of evil, right? And if I forgive you, right, and I'm banned until you say I can come back into the store, right? But you can use other women to seduce me, just like you did. Why? There's no reason, if you responded this way within 3 months, right, to not think, even if we did it, you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway to spite me and get me out your store, right? So that I can't go to your store no more, right? I know why, too. You didn't do it because I'm the cutest, or I'm the oldest, or I'm the youngest, or I'm the best sex you'll ever have, right? You could even have sex with other people to confuse that you got pregnant money. Which is kind of what happened with Maribel, too, right? But then you're just pimping yourself out, right? Go ahead, pimp yourself out, right? It don't change the fact that if, and I say if because I'm being humble, I'm not wanting to say, right? Because I don't want to get either one of us in trouble. You get in trouble too, right? You took advantage of someone you knew was mentally ill, right? You took advantage of a veteran, right? Who's disabled, right? And you had to know some details about me to even recognize me when I came into your store, right? Meaning, what you did was called premeditation, right? What I did was called going to a different store, right, that I've not been to before, right? That's it. And that's the first time I went to your salon for a pedicure and a manicure, right? And I'm just looking for somewhere to go, right? In a pattern to Statesboro, Lincoln, and Garden City already, right? And I even went to a few after you, right? And don't expect sex, but the nail job, right? But the reason I told you I was suspecting the sex ain't just the nail job, but the additional time, right? And I can play dumb. I can play like I don't remember popping your cherry when I do. So, what does it matter, right? You changed after. You went from being nice and sweet to being a jerk. And women can be jerks too. Women can be mean too, right? But like I told Maribel too, then you should have been a jerk the whole time, right? Enough to not send me mixed signals. Unless you like the sex too, right? Even if we were with me and Steve, right? See, it's the final person you're with, right? And see, all Steve wants is you to quit being with me and vice versa. No. If he's first and I'm last, if it's a few days apart, and it's far enough apart, right, you know who got you pregnant. First should be last and the last should be first, too, right? Don't matter, right? And you're equally mad about it, Maribel, because you didn't want to marry me. You didn't want to have my baby, right? Like I'm trying to trick you, and not the fact that you're not communicating that with me and breaking up with me clearly. That's why you got pregnant. Either or, you know. But it's not Scott's, right? It's the two you're with the most, right? Not the least, right? Not the guy 3 months later, he can't get you pregnant at all. But the idea is you thought, right, it was his, right? That protects the child, even when he's 3, right? Versus when he's born, right? And you think it's Scott's, right? Despite the birth weight. Now, if anyone's going to question it first, it's going to be Scott, not you, right? And you're calling me, right, to rub my nose in it, right? You're not calling me because you're happy about it. You're mad, right? You didn't even want me to pay you child support. You're so mad. You're so mad. So I said, well, if you're getting divorced, I'm just going to need money for the divorce, right? And that's why I only gave it to you so long, too, right? You don't want my baby. That's what you're saying. And that's an excuse, shaving your vagina one time. Is to see if you're playing mind games with me by playing mind games with you, right? If you actually came back, right, or not, that's what I'm seeing, right? If you're going to do it something or not, right? If you're going to commit or not, or make it an excuse not to. I made an excuse not to, right? I'm giving you what's called a way out, right? I knew you never really wanted me, right? You're spending more time with Bart and Steve still, right? And they're your excuse, right? But then you're still mad about the situation, and you miss me enough to be with me again, right? Well, you knew I didn't care, right? Whatever the situation with you and Steve or Bart was, right? Even if you weren't having sex with them, right? Fidelity, though, ain't about sex alone, right? Oh, I'm just going to have sex with you, but be with my boyfriend and his friend, right? That's not fidelity anymore, right? You're not wanting me 24/7. You want me when it's convenient for you, right? Once you do that, you're mixed baggage, right? You're sending mixed signals, right? That's why when I followed you, you went to the police, but then didn't go through with the court hearing, right? And the case was dropped, right? So you were with me the morning of, but disappeared, right? And I know you probably had a ride set up. Which is crazy, right? You're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no. You're in, then you're out. You're up, then you're down, right? Strong when it's right. It's black when it's light, right? Yes, we make up. You don't really. Quote Katy Perry song, right? And I can do that legally too, Katie. Because I deal with it too. Coincidentally, I've been in relationships like that too. Even before your song came out, right? The thing is, I'm not popular like you to write a song about it. Where anyone would listen to it, right? But I can teach from your song, right? Your lyrics are how people do each other in the real world. I know it is. That's why it's fair use. I know. Fair use means I'm using the lyrics to teach something, not just quoting them or randomly saying them, right? I'm saying my ex-girlfriend was the same way with me, right? Well, what about Sarah Michelle Gellar, right? I don't even know her either, right? And she's with Freddie Prinze Jr. And yes, we favor a little bit, Michelle, right? But what would that mean? Well, then you would be with me instead of Freddie to prove I could get you pregnant and you wouldn't know, right? I mean, seriously, right? I wouldn't mind. Or Eliza, right? Or Allison, right? Even, those are the actors, by the way. Their stage names could even be that, right? But like I said, right? Or charisma, right? Whatever. It sounds like a fake name to me, right? Well, I would think Geller is Jewish, right? And I'm circumcised even if Freddie, I don't know, right? Even though that's it, right? But it's technique, right? Does he go downtown, right? Or just do missionary, right? He might kiss you, suck your boobs a little, but I do the full Monty, right? I do everything. And if I'm with Mary Bell and with Sarah Michelle, right? I'd share the finger thing too, right? But I never contacted her. Who would? Mary Bell, right? Because I sung to her Michelle, my bell by Beatles. It rhymes with Mary Bell. Bye bye.